Ladies and gentlemen, UNC Shay in the building, and today, we ain't holding back. What we got here is a whole lot of smoke brewing in the Western Conference playoffs, and it's coming straight from the frigid courts of Minnesota to the sun-drenched floors of San Francisco. I'm talking about the Golden State Warriors versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. And baby, it's getting gritty. Now y'all know the playoffs ain't never been for the faint of heart. But what we're seeing right now, that's a different beast. Physicality is one thing. That's playoff basketball. But when Coach Chris Finch, cool, calculated, ain't the type to pop off or nothing, steps to the mic and starts talking about taking justice into their own hand, oh yeah, you better believe something serious is going down. Let's rewind this tape a little. Game 1, final score, Warriors 99, Timberwolves 88. A low-scoring, gritty 8. A low-scoring, gritty, knockdown, drag-out affair. But don't let the box score fool you. The real story, it wasn't just about who put the ball in the bucket. It was about who left bruises on who. And according to Coach Finch, his big man Rudy Gobert got treated less like a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year and more like a tackling dummy. Let's talk physicality. It's been escalating in the playoffs for a while now. Every screen feels like a pick from an NFL lineman, and every box out turns into a wrestling match. But Coach Finch said this series, it's gone too far. You got Draymond Green, Mr. Instigate then Dominate, throwing his weight around like it's 2016 all over again. And on top of that, Brandon Podziemski out here, catching black eyes like he signed up for a UFC undercard. Coach Finch ain't just venting now. He's calling out the whole league for letting it slide. He said he sent the tapes to the league office. You know it's bad when a coach watching more film for foul evidence than for strategy. They tackling Rudy, he said. Tackling. Let that sink in. Look, I'm not gonna sit here and act like Rudy Gobert is the most popular dude in the league. We all remember the COVID mic incident. We remember the beef with teammate. But one thing that man does, he plays hard. He shows up. He defends. And if a guy like Rudy, 7'1", Olympic medalist, multiple-time All-NBA, is getting handled like that and the refs turning a blind eye, then what are we doing here? Finch said it plain. I'm not sure I know another player with Rudy's pedigree that gets physically beaten like he does. That ain't hyperbole, that's frustration boiled over. Finch didn't just air grievances. He laid down a warning. And let me tell y'all, when a team coach starts saying, we'll take justice into our own hands, that ain't basketball talk. That's battleground talk. That's code for, if the refs don't handle it, we will. He pointed to a play where Podziemski grabs Gobert, Rudy sheds him, and Rudy, get this, gets called for the foul. That's like getting mugged and then arrested for fighting back. Finch said they'll try to take justice into our own hands whenever we can. Now he said it with a coach's calm, but don't mistake it for passivity. The Wolves got dog in, and they're ready to swing back. Now, you know I keep it 100. The Warriors, they're playing playoff basketball. Draymond's always walked that fine line between genius and chaos. But Steve Kerr ain't got clean hands either. Man came out after game 1 complaining too. Said Steph was being bear hugged like it was WrestleMania. So what's that tell you? Both sides feel like they being targeted. Kerr say the league has established the physicality in these playoffs. Translation, they letting them play and we better adjust. What we really seeing here is chess, not checkers. Not checker. This ain't just about fouls. It's about messages. Kerr and Finch, they ain't just talking to reporters. They talking to the refs, to the league, and to each other. They setting the tone. They planting seed. When you complain about fouls, you plant doubt in the ref's head. Next game, maybe they give you a call. Maybe they think twice about letting that box out go unchecked. It's psychology, baby. So now the question becomes, who adjusts first? Will the Warriors keep crashing the boards like defensive ends? Will Rudy start throwing elbows like Charles Oakley in '95? Or will the refs step in and reset the boundaries? Because here's the thing, Game 1 ain't just a loss for the Timberwolves. It was a statement. And now Finch just made his. Game 2, That's going to be firework. The situation between the Minnesota Timberwolves and Golden State Warriors in this year's NBA playoffs really highlights a major issue: the increasing physicality in games and the team's reactions to it. From Timberwolves head coach Chris Finch calling out the fouls against Rudy Gobert to Steve Kerr also complaining about the defense on Steph Curry, it's clear both teams feel they're being treated unfairly by the referee. This tension escalates when officials don't intervene strongly enough, forcing coaches to handle the issues themselves. Finch made it clear that his team would take justice into their own hands if the refs don't step in, signaling that the Timberwolves are ready to engage in a physical battle if needed. What's interesting, however, is the contrast in how both teams and their coaches view the situation. Kerr criticized the way Steph Curry is bare-hugged without fouls being called, pointing out that Golden State feels they're not getting fair treatment. On the other hand, it's undeniable that both teams are trying to capitalize on any opportunities to use physical play to their advantage. With all this unfolding in this series, a big question remains: can the NBA maintain fairness in officiating? Or will they need to adjust their rules to balance the physical nature of the game with respect for the players? Either way, teams have the right to protect themselves and their stars from overly aggressive play that could affect the fairness and quality of the game. Let me tell you all, this ain't just about a series win. This is about culture. The Timberwolves been trying to build something sustainable, something tough. They got Ant Edwards, they got Cat, and now they got Gobert. But you can't build a dynasty if you get punked every May. This is about pride, about identity. And the Warriors? They the gatekeepers. Been there, done that. 4 rings, MVPs, all-stars. They look at Minnesota like little brothers. But the little brother got muscles now. He ready to swing back. Let me make a prediction for y'all. Game 2, we gonna see some ejections, technicals, hard fouls, maybe even a flagrant or two. The Timberwolves heard what Finch said. They seen the clips. They gonna retaliate, but smart, strategic, calculated. And if the refs don't clamp down early, it's gonna turn into a brawl. But here's what I hope. I hope we get great basketball. Because under all that drama, these two teams can hoop. Curry's still the best shooter in history. Clay got that old magic in spurts. Draymond's still the brains of the defense. And the Wolves. Edwards is a problem. A straight-up superstar in the making. So where do we land, y'all? This ain't just Warriors versus Timberwolves. This is old guard versus new blood. This is finesse versus fort. And right now, it's getting personal. Coach Finch lit a fire under his squad. The league heard it. The Warriors heard it. And you better believe the fans heard it. Now, basketball world watching Game 2, waiting to see. Will it be war or will it be basketball? Stay tuned. And remember, this ain't for the soft. This, the playoffs. And like I always say, you don't go into a storm and hope you don't get wet. You bring an umbrella and you fight through the rain. Shay out.
Phần này mình cung cấp vào đây nha. Phần này mình cũng gấp vào đây nha. Mình sẽ gấp vào như này nha. Phần này mình sẽ gấp vào đây nha. Mình dán phần này vào nhá. Tiếp theo mình sẽ vẽ mắt nha. Tiếp theo là mình sẽ vẽ mồm nha. Mọi người có thể tham khảo cách làm này của mình để làm nhé mọi người, rất chi là đẹp nha. Video của mình đến đây là hết rồi. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại mọi người trong các video tiếp theo nha. Bye bye tất cả mọi người nha. Chúc mọi người thành công nha.